Right.
And nobody was coming out to support it or enjoy it or what have you. And those places go, hey, I can't put out X amount of dollars if nothing is coming back.
Right.
I could imagine if they're like every once in a while they're up and then every once in a while they're down. Like, oh, we lost $50 on the night, whatever. But if every show they're out $200, $300,
right,
or more, because everybody wanted to be excited about John Smithstein and the Bargainers. Right. Like, I don't know who the hell that is.
Right.
I'm gonna stay home. I'm gonna watch my Netflix, and I'm gonna.
I mean, it's like I think that's honestly as far as comedy, I don't know much about music, but that's why free bar shows do so well, because a bar doesn't have anything to lose if they get 3 people in the door that are going to order drinks they wouldn't before. Right. It's worth it to them. They don't. It doesn't have to be a thing, Right. But if I thought about trying to buy a spot that we could do comedy in, but I'm like, I can't pay the bills if we don't have any money coming in. Right. At the end of the day, you still have to you still have to pay the electricity, and there's overhead involved, and so
Yeah.
I get it.
I get it as well, but it still sucks.
I
don't know. Did they ever have stand-up there, or did they ever have anything other than like a couple times monthly show or
at Day Trotter?
Yeah.
They did Andrew King's The Late Show, that thing that he had, maybe once or twice.
But that was forever ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been at least a year, probably.
Yeah. So since then, it's been pretty barren as far as anything other than a musician or group that's performed there every maybe once a month, every couple weeks.
I'm not really sure, because it's not that I dislike Day Trotter, but it's just, as somebody who, I like music, but, I'm definitely one of those people that prefers to sit at home and listen to music while I'm doing something else, or, I enjoy live music when I've seen it, but,
as far as seeing any groups live recently, saw Foo Fighters and I saw Mac Lethal, and that's because I'm already a fan, been a fan for a while, and I know that from past experiences I had a lot of fun.
Right.
Anytime somebody said to me, we should go check out this band, it's like, in my head, I've never heard anything from them. Right. I couldn't tell you if it's better than what they've put out on record or anything like that, so I've got nothing to go from. I don't know what I'm going into, so I tend to hold on to my money.
If it's free though, I'll see free shows and I have nothing else going on. Yeah. But that's the thing, it's just, sometimes I think one of the problems with comedy and music is that the scene is just oversaturated. Yeah. There's too many comedians, there's too many music bands, and you just, there's not enough time to see everybody, because at the end of the day, people work, they have kids, they have lives that exist, besides that, and they can't come see every single show that happens in the Quad Cities, right? Especially when there's multiple shows, and I get it,
Well, and I guess just on my side of things, married, 2 kids, and then step kid that I'm having to put through high school and get out of my house and send to college, that kind of thing. I'm not exactly the type that goes, I've never heard of this band before. Yeah, I'll pay $20 a ticket. Right. I'm
gonna miss out on time that I could be spending with my kids that, are, their time is split between daycare, I have to go to work, my wife has to go to work, right. And I'm gonna spend even $12 to see a band that I've never heard of before. Right. That,
which is still at the end of the day is a gamble,
right?
You know, even seeing a band that you've heard of before that you're a fan of,
right?
It's very possible that, well, I mean, for instance, the Foo Fighters show I went to in November, we paid a lot of money to go to this show, and we show up and Dave Grohl had laryngitis, like that could have went way south. But at the end of all of it, it was pretty goddamn inspiring.
Was somebody feeding him tea like in between songs? Some little lady was just like pouring tea into his mouth.
I never saw him take those tea breaks, but you would hope that he kind of, or he had something on stage to kind of loosen him up, whatever.
Right.
But he ended up performing for about 3 hours with laryngitis, and he's just like, sorry, but I'm the guy that broke his leg and kept playing. Like, if you thought a sore throat was going to knock me down,
right?
At the end of it, it's like, that's pretty badass.
Yeah,
like,
he is a badass.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, if it was a lesser band and the lead singer was sick and went out there and totally shit the bed, it's like, man, I'm out whatever money I paid.
Yeah.
So I don't know. When it comes to that kind of stuff, I tend to sit back and go, you know what, I'm gonna save that $20 and put it towards diapers or.
You think so Dave Grohl got laryngitis, right? And he still did okay, right? I mean, he still did a good job considering he had laryngitis.
Yeah.
Do you think there's some bands like maybe My Chemical Romance that would sound better if the lead singer got laryngitis?
Like that would increase the quality. Oh man.
Sometimes I felt like so like just not creative and like just like I haven't written a good joke in a long time. I've had like all these premises and I just don't spend enough time with it, or just nothing's coming to my head. Yeah. I think I've kind of like been in this weird like funk, like not really depressed, but also just not,
not feeling very driven.
Just not feeling very driven, and just like I mean, and honestly, I told the girl that I'm talking to, I was like, I'm just gonna take a step back from comedy. I'm not feeling it right now,
Yeah.
It was like, and I told her I was like, I may quit, like not quit like for good, but just like only maybe do the occasional open mic, but just not really kind of like because I've been really invested in comedy for the last 2 years or so, and I've just done a lot of booking.
You've been performing. You've been doing it all
right, and so I feel kind of burnt out, and I was like, maybe I just part of me is just like I just want to live my life, but then sometimes like you think of something about like how the lead singer of a lesser band might sound better with laryngitis, and you feel kind of good about yourself.
Right. No, I get that completely, man. Being in my situation of having work and the kids and the wife, and you want to put enough time and effort towards your spouse to let them.
You want to have enough of you to go around to everything you want to do, right?
Exactly.
Sometimes there's just not enough of you.
Right. Exactly. And that's the thing. Putting 80% of you into one pile and only leaving 20% for this, something's got to give.
Right.
If I put 80% of my focus into home life and 20% into work's going to falter.
Right.
Work's going to get pissed off at me, like, hey, you're not putting in the effort that we need for this to be successful. We may need to look for somebody else. Oh shit. Right. Then that starts to bleed into home life, because then if you're out of job or you're out those bonuses, you can't exactly pitch in towards date nights or this or that. So you have to kind of spread yourself evenly.
Yeah. It's all about balance, man. I'm so bad at balance personally.
Yeah,
like I'll just go like 150% into something until I can't do it anymore. And I feel like, for the last 2 years or so doing comedy, that's just where I've come to. I just, it's just too much, and I just need to take a step back. And like, at the end of the day, am I going to quit doing comedy? Probably not. But should I kind of take some time back to kind of refocus and like rethink about what my goals are? And I went and saw Ron Funches. Do you know who he is?
Yeah. No, I love Ron Funches, and if anything, and we were just talking about groups that like, oh, I'm going to save my money because I don't know if it's worth the hassle, if it's worth spending to make this happen, whatever.
Right.
That was one of those shows where if I would have heard about it sooner or known about it sooner, I might have like, okay, I'm gonna put this aside and go do that, and because
dude, you totally could have come. I wish you would have, dude. That was. I've seen, like I don't think I've been disappointed by too many big name comedians,
Yeah.
But that was one of the
where
best.
they at because of what they do.
Yeah, right. He's just very like relaxed on stage, and he was even talking. I was telling Todd because I went with Todd, and I was like, it was weird to hear him talk about what jokes like hadn't worked in the past and how they work like tonight or whatever, like actually like talking about the like editing process on stage while he's doing it.
Yeah.
And he's recording it, and that he's going to listen back and he's going to be like, okay, like I need to do it like this again, like he's working on the cadence, and but I was saying all that to get to this. He at the very beginning he talked about vision boards. You know what a vision board is?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, so the joke was, he's like,
well, if anything, real quick for anybody out there listening that doesn't know what a vision board
oh yeah,
vision board is just basically like, you put together the blueprint of what you want to happen, and then illustrate how you're going to make it happen, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I got distracted by. Sorry. So it's like. I think you said it.
It's just the blueprint of what you want to make happen, right?
So you want these things, and so you put on a vision board to help you focus on achieving that goal, right?
Yeah.
So the joke was he had a vision board party, and it was the first time he heard about it, so he wrote on it that he wanted to buy a house.
Okay.
Right? And then the next year he had a house. And he's like, holy shit, if I had known this was work, I would have asked for way more stuff. Right. Right. And but I was just thinking, like, that's a good idea, just to, have a list of goals, write down what you want, and then work on those things. And I feel like I've just kind of gone, a lot of things in my life lately, I've just kind of gone willy-nilly. Like, I've just been like, I
hope this turns out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And instead of really focusing on what it is that I want and how to get it. And so I think I just need to take a step back. I kind of want to, do more of the things that, I never got to do when I first got clean. Like, I was going to, like, so many meetings, I never really got to get back into reading, and like, I don't write enough, so I just want to kind of take a step back from the actual performing aspect and just work on, my brain really, and just work on being creative and stuff like that. So. Well,
and that's the thing, a lot of times too, people forget that big name comics, they've been doing it for a while, and they're in that mode or in that spot where they can do a couple big shows. Yeah. Make their money and take whatever time off that they need to write these things. Whereas somebody on, say, your or my level, they've got to be out there every night, kind of building up that reputation, and they've got to hit every night in order to get to where those big name comics are. To take any kind of time off to recalibrate, to stay in love with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it ends up being just people at different levels. Like you're not going to say you're not going to have the same amount of vacation or time to breathe that say a manager or a CEO is going to have, and it's not to say that those people haven't earned it, but this
is a difference. I want to be the CEO without putting in the work, and I think I just I'm super hard on myself and critical of myself, and it's okay to take a little break and reassess, and a lot of times I'll have a premise, and I'll just kind of try to work it out on stage, and that sometimes it works, but a much better approach is to like actually sit down and think about what's funny about whatever you're talking about, and actually write it out, and practice it a few times before you get on stage. I've just kind of and but that's the thing, like. Big name comics, they will do that. They'll have a premise and they'll just kind of, maybe go to an open mic or like fit it in somewhere in the middle of their set and just try to see if it works. Right. I'm just not at that level to do that kind of stuff. And I got to remember that.
Yeah, and you keep hearing these things about write about what you think is funny,
right?
And then everybody else will either follow suit or kind of fall to the wayside. Yeah. And it's difficult